So the distance from one crest to next crest is wavelength. See girls, this, can you see here? Can you see this curve? The distance between here to here, the distance between here, one crest to the upper part is called the crest, the topmost. Between one crest to another is called wavelength. Let me draw here for you. See girls, this is a crest and this is the crest. The distance between both, this is called the wavelength, girls. It can be found measuring troughs too. You can even measure the troughs and you can count them. Now girls, going on to turning on a jet engine produces a very loud sound with a high amplitude. The amplitude is high. They did not say about frequency here. And next here girls, that's what here I was saying you. Between two troughs or two crests is called a wavelength. And you can see the coiled, even in the last class I've told you a yellow horizontal plane cuts through the middle of the wavy lines. From one top of the wavy line to the next is labeled wavelength. From the yellow plane to the top of the wavy line is labeled as amplitude. A line of vertical ellipses is above the wave, closest together above the tops of the waves. Now the taller the wave is from its resting point, the larger the amplitude. Do you know the length here? The length here. The larger the wave, you will call this more is the amplitude. Dropping a pin onto a hard surface produces a soft sound with low amplitude. What is actually amplitude? It describes the amount of energy in wave. How much energy a wave has, it describes that. Like a jet engine produces a sound wave with an extremely large amplitude. On the other hand, a pin hitting the floor produces a sound wave with a very small amplitude. As you may have guessed, the volume of a sound and the amplitude of its wave are related. Loud sounds have large amplitude, whereas soft sounds have soft amplitude. Amplitude is not that confusing. Simple, girls. Low sounds have low amplitude and large sounds have large amplitudes. Here they have shown you that the sound, they can travel through the walls, windows, and floor as well as air and water. Does sound travel at the same speed through solids, gases, and liquid? This is your question here. Sound travels in a wave, but sound can only travel if there are particles that waves can cause to vibrate. If the waves are able to vibrate, then you can listen to it from the next door, or else when you close the door or between the walls, you cannot hear anything. If there are no particles to move, then the sound cannot travel. Sound waves travel through different kinds of matter at different rates. The speed at which sound waves pass through solid, liquid, and gases have to do with how the particles are arranged. How? It depends upon how the particles are arranged, girls. Like example, particles in gases are far apart. Liquids, air are in between. For this reason, sound travels through gases more slowly than it travels through the liquid and solid. When you knock on the door, the sound moves through a solid wood and through a gas, air on the other hand of the door, side of the door. Sound all around. Understanding the properties of sound allow people to control sound. Sometimes people want sound to be softer or not to be heard at all. At other times, people want sounds to be louder or clearer. Engineers design rooms and buildings to reduce outside noise and make indoor sounds more pleasant so that we are very safe inside. We don't like a lot of sound coming from outside. We have something called sound insulation that contains tiny air cells. Sound is absorbed as the cell traps sound waves. This keeps the sound inside the room. Similarly, technology is used in apartments building to keep inside the apartment and not the sound to go outside. So these are the works of engineers, they are doing it. In movie theaters, in performing arts centers, sound must be amplified. Sound engineers place speakers in certain places so audience members can hear clearly. As a result, you never miss a moment of new blockbuster. Great girls, have a nice day. Inshallah tomorrow I will continue with this lesson.